Stemas Bu'us, what's in your heart today? I bring my cousin sister up with me because we share a common bond. And unfortunately, it's as Rusty spoke to, we both have been diagnosed with leiomyosarcoma cancer of the uterus. And it's so rare, and we happen to have the same oncologist, and we learned about it from each other. Fortunately, Darlene is in remission, so that's great. I am not. I'm at 5th stage. And this is a very aggressive cancer. But I am not alone. I am not the only one from our community who suffers with cancer. We have numerous people who have passed on. We have former workers who started working in the uranium mines that were established in order to address and fight the Cold War and develop weaponry, nuclear weaponry, from our lands. Unfortunately, our people didn't know about this. We didn't know what we were up against. We were not told that this was going to be, as Rusty said, the new smallpox. I consider, not only the resource drainage of our lands and the people, the lands across the nation, in order to keep our country safe. We've ended up with sacrifice zones for many of the indigenous communities. And one of the things that I do share is that I'm Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, as well as Dene, Navajo. My mother was full-blooded from the Southwest. And interestingly and ironically, from the Southwest, the Navajos were equally impacted by the uranium resource drainage and are still dealing with it as we are. It gets into our air, it gets into our lands, it gets into our wildlife, it's going into our people. And unfortunately, we don't have the resources to be able to do a lot about it. We have Indian Health Service, who is a governmental arm that doesn't have the level of resources needed to address a community. And that's what we're trying to do is, we have so many things going on, and recently the mining company attempted to try and get deregulation happening in the closure process, because they are reclaiming a mine right now, the Midnight Mine, and they were trying to get some new measures with EPA to deregulate the closure process, something that they had already agreed to in the lawsuit. And the people came together, we came together, and began addressing these concerns. We were kind of in hiatus for about 4 years. But when we heard that the company was doing these things, we pick it up again and start gathering the people. And this latest round since last October, we've been able to move the non-native organizations, and they've come on board to help us. So we thank those organizations who share concerns about what's happening for our people. And as Carol said, we all share a common value, which is peace. We've always wanted peace. Unfortunately, that hasn't come to us. And for those of you who have been out there in the trenches fighting for the rest of the lives of our people in this country, I do wholeheartedly thank you. Because knowing that there's still the emotional baggage that comes back with some of the things that you've witnessed and the things that you've experienced. And so I really wholeheartedly thank you for the work that you're doing. And I value that we're looking at peace for humanity, because we're up against some strange occurrences in our time with Trump, with the deregulation, with the greed that is happening in spite of how damaging it is to the rest of humanity. And for that, today, as we sit here with each other, we also are putting our own stakes in the ground. We're putting our staff with our histories and prayers out to our ancestors, because we all have them, who did the best they could so that we could all be here today, that we could all be here for those who are still coming. And that's vital in terms of looking at how do we affect change. And our people looked forward 7 generations ahead in order so that we can be here. And today, an obligation for me is that do what we can in order to ensure that those of the future generations have the same levels of opportunity that we've been provided, because we've been gifted with a world, with water, with the air that's still breathable. We don't know what's coming for all humanity. And so it's within these gatherings, and it's within the spread of, as Carol said, the love and the joy and the peace within ourselves to be able to help ourselves and others. So I heard some good things today, and I am so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful that you are here. I'm so grateful that you survived, and I'm sorry for all of those who have gone on before us too early for much of the time. But today I ask the Creator that we all take time for ourselves to heal, to do what we need to make sure that the kindnesses in our hearts be bigger than the hatred and the fear that sometimes are carried far too long. I've carried so many of those burdens far too long. And as I look at this time, and my cousin offers me hope. All the time she offers me hope. My cousin Carol, call her Sister Teresa of the Res, because she is, as she speaks, full of love and kindness for our people. And that is making a difference for the lands and the waters. And we can all walk that same walk and put our stake in the ground for each other, that for humanity. And I know that's what you're all about, is humanity. That we will ensure a future for the next generations. And so I appreciate that I've been invited here today. It's been an honor. But please stand tall, put your stakes in the ground, put them in hard, because we're here for another battle. We're here for the battle of humanity. It's not about lands, and it is about lands, it's about waters, it's about air, but it's also mostly about future generations and what we do with our time as we have it. So I was going to try to sing, but I don't know. This is a song. It's called the AIM song, American Indian Movement, which revitalized culture and revitalized the people during the 70s to be able to move forward and gather ourselves as we're doing today so we can have a mindset to move forward in a good way, in a better way, and grab the cultures that we're from, the pieces that our grandparents and our great-grandparents taught us that are meaningful to man, woman, and child, as well as the animals in the waters, the rocks. So bear with me, I'm going Peace and lemon.